Do you know that the first African to fly a NASA rocket is a Ghanaian? Don't worry, we'll be discussing that in this video. And also the Ghanaian government, announces its latest space policies. You're welcome to my channel. I'm Delicious Army. Here I talk Ghana, I talk Nigeria, South Africa, Kenya, and all the good stuffs relating to them. Kindly do all by liking the video, and if you're interested in what I do here, kindly hit the subscribe button. I know many of you will be wondering, why are all the African countries going to space? What is happening in space? I will tell you what is happening in space and why it is important as a country to make sure you launch satellites to space. But before we go into that, let's talk about the first African to fly a NASA rocket. This person happens to be a Ghanaian. Yes, in the person of Alve KP Kuldes Jr. He's an American aerospace engineer and also a civil servant. He specializes in complex system engineering and design, and is also a senior NASA spacecraft system engineer. I know you'll be asking, why is there American there? Most of the times when our people do so well and they acquire dual citizenship, when you want to address them, you will put Ghanaian American. Yes, he was born in Ghana, and he had his education at Adisadel College and also Siwedru Secondary School. But for his tertiary education, he had that at Ruta Girls University, John Hopkins University, that was where he had his master's, and George Washington University, that was where he had his PhD. He specialized at complex system engineering and design, and he was part of the team that launched Ghanaian first satellite to space.
Is it true that you are the first African to command a spacecraft in orbit from the NASA control room? Is that correct?
Well, yes, actually, we don't know if anyone did. Yes, I did that in the 1990s, mid-90s.
The Ghanaian first satellite was launched in 2017, which is called the GhanaSat 01. It was launched into orbit from the International Space Station, and it was developed by a team of engineering students from All Nations University College, which is also known as ANUC in Koforidua, Ghana. GhanaSat 1 has been used severally to monitor Ghana coastal line and to measure its atmospheric density. The reason why many African countries are rushing to go to space is because the benefit outweighs the disadvantages. There are disadvantages of being in space, which we'll also be talking about, but the advantages are more. Now, there are so many other African countries that are also in space, which includes Algeria, Ethiopia, Ghana, Kenya, Nigeria, South Africa, Tunisia, Sudan, Rwanda, Mauritius, Angola, and a whole lot. The major reason why many African countries are rushing to space is because you need space technology. You need that technology to be able to improve your country's security. One thing about having a satellite in space is that it helps improve your country's technology. Most of the times when criminals come into a country and they are not being located in time, that is because that country doesn't have enough space technology. Go to the diaspora. There is nothing you do there that is not recorded. Everything is recorded. There is no one that comes into the system and the system doesn't pick. That is because of what? The space technology. Why is it that when someone goes missing in the diaspora, they find it very easy to locate that person? I've seen so many documentaries online where you will see a missing child in a forest, of acres of land, and they will use thermal heat technology to locate that person. There was a story of an American boy that got missing in a cornfield. This cornfield, I'm telling you, is like the whole of Accra. That's the whole of, just imagine the whole of Accra being a cornfield. But this boy was still located through the thermal technology. How do those thermal technology work? They are connected to space. So most countries are rushing to go to space because it improves the country's security technology. And not just that, it gives you an edge. We see what is happening with these countries that are fighting, war. And before you know it, you hear the country launch. This country has launched a rocket. This country has launched missile. How can they do that? That is because they are in space. So when your country is not in space, it projects your country as weak. It projects it to the world that it has a weak defense. So other countries around you can easily bully you, or easily, intimidate you with their security, apparatus. Why is it that many of these other countries, which I don't want to mention, you can see them flex with their nuclear, you know what I'm talking about? That is because many of them are in space. So when your country is in space, it helps increase your country's security profile. And not just that, it also helps economic development. Many a times you see people complain, oh, the network is bad. Oh, the network is bad. There's this satellite, this network that was launched by Elon Musk, which is Starlink. Starlink can never have network issues. Why? Because it is in space. Compared to other of our networks, which is MTN, Airtel, that their satellites are on land. And it also creates job opportunities. Many of these astronauts that will be, developing satellites to go to space all the time, it creates job opportunities for them, more money for them. And it also help, increase the technology level of the students in that country. Imagine a country that has a lot of astronauts. It increases the level and the quality of science students that country will be developing. And not just that, it also helps in agriculture. If you notice, most advanced countries that do so well in agriculture, they are in space. And not just that, it helps solar power. When you are in space, it will be easier for your country to be able to develop its solar generating technology. Before you know it, that country will be able to, invest so much in solar and be able to provide a huge amount of energy from solar. So that is just it. Being in space has a lot of advantages, but it also has its own disadvantage. One of the disadvantage is pollution, air pollution. When those rockets are launched into space, the amount of pollution it gives the area can lead to air pollution around that area. And not just that, it is money consuming. The government needs to invest a lot. Not just the government, the private sector need to invest a lot before it can, launch any satellites to space. And not just that, in any incident whereby there is a mistake, it is enough to blow up that country. Imagine a country is trying to launch a satellite into space and a mistake occurs. Is that not the end? That is the end. And this is the reason why the Ghanaian government recently came out to launch new space policies, because they don't want anyone messing with their space satellite, to avoid these kind of things that I just discussed. Many of these, government space programs help to increase the knowledge. Not just that, it serves as indicator for national prestige and power, like I discussed earlier, and it also helps national security and military strength. You understand? But one other disadvantage is that it does not really improve the cost of living in that country. It does not really affect the average man. It's now the government that will work on the economy to, improve the standard of living. But for these other things, I think, to me, the advantages, outweigh the disadvantage. But feel free to drop your own opinion in the comment section. I'm Delicious Army. Here I talk Ghana, I talk Nigeria, South Africa, Kenya, and all the good stuff relating to them. Do well by liking the video. Do well by subscribing to the channel. I'll see you in my next one, guys. Bye bye.